Wall Street Book Club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature that's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street Book Club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. If we all just come together, there's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black Wall Street. Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street Book Club.
All right, beautiful people, man. Good evening to you. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on our New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark. That's right. After Dark is our evening edition where we just dive into this thing and start to stimulate our subconscious mind, stimulating our subconscious mind. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified global financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, the Black Bazaar, an international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. Book that I wrote, guys, is a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. But I recommend that you study wealthy people. Now, you can find that book by going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. While you're there, guys, there is a tab that says store. You'll find other financial literacy books that you can introduce to your children to help them learn early what we may have learned late, and some of us haven't learned at all. And also, there's a tab that says join the club. If you find yourself in a situation where you seem to be the smartest person in the room, it might be time for you to find a new room. If you want to walk away from the crowd of broke, busted, and disgusted and get with the few that's going to really make the difference, the few that's going to really change our community and our world, well, we invite you to join the Black Billionaires Club. So simply check us out at www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. Well, it's roll time, beautiful people. Before we get into our lesson here tonight, as we're going to be going through the University of Success, lesson number 3, let us know who is connected. Let us know where you're connecting from. Hit the like button, the share button, tag button, whatever you can put on the platform. But also let us know what city, what state, or what country you are connected from here tonight. We're broadcasting across the World Wide Web from our virtual studios here in Decatur, Georgia. That's right, Decatur, where it's greater. And I'd love to know just how far our reach is here tonight. Where are our brothers and sisters who are saying, you know what, we want to get this goodness as we stimulate our membrane here tonight, going through the book, The University of Success. Go let us know what city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country. What's going on, brother Fat Mac, man, over at Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Miss Taylor has joined us well over Instagram. Let's see who else has joined us here tonight on the New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark. Miss Taylor out of Philadelphia. Shiro is in the building. Nita Diane has joined us well out of Albany, Georgia. Miss Vivian Reed always showing up, man. Brooklyn is represented. Wakita Nutri is in the hizzy. Thanks so much for joining us out of Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Sincere Newman out of Mableton, Georgia. Miss Teresa Harvey Gilliard has joined us as well. Anybody else, man, hit the like button, share button if you care. Like button and share button if you care. Dallas, Texas, brother Fat Mac. Now, here's the deal. We have how you guys those have been us over the past 3 nights, 2 nights, 3 nights, because we started Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? It's 3 nights, man. How's it been for you? I mean, really, like, I don't know about you, but I've been like even more like stimulated in a sense, mentally stimulated, and I'm a sapiosexual. So, you know, when my brain is getting stimulated, I'm like, ooh, I'm on 15, I'm on cloud 69 and all that good stuff. But we've been going, we are journeying through the University of Success, and it really is a university where we have lessons each and every night. We started with our intro, and then we got into, understanding where we've been, and then we got into how to fashion our brand yesterday. And so today we're going to journey into this next lesson, lesson number 3, how to count your blessings. Everybody put in console, count your blessings. How to count your blessings. Now, this book is a University of Success by one of my favorite authors, Mandino. Says here, the greatest self-help author in the world presents the ultimate success book. The ultimate success book. And so we're not going to delay, guys. We're going to get right into this thing. Now, we understand, it's good for us to have a pen and paper. If you don't, use the comment section to use your muscle memory to capture what you should capture, what speaks out to you. But we're going to get right into this thing as we're in semester number 1. Now, let's go back here where we got semester number 1, and it started with a quote from Charles Spurgeon, who said this: "Beware of no one more than of yourself. We carry our worst enemies within us." Again, Charles Spurgeon said, beware of no one more than of yourself. We carry our worst enemies within us. And so we're going to get into lesson number 3 here tonight, New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark. You know what time it is, beautiful people. Let's read. Now, lesson 3 is from Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie. So you should already know. If you don't know who Dale Carnegie is, well, you're gonna find out here tonight. And let's get our quote for lesson 3, which is how to count your blessings. It says this: feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition is not only a waste of energy, but the worst habit you could possibly have. Oh Lord, that just slapped somebody in the face. Oh, pow! Feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition is not only a waste of energy, but the worst habit you could possibly have. Whew. I got my notes ready because this might be a barn burner. I mean, if it's starting off like that. Let's get into this thing. Lesson number 3 from Dale Carnegie: how to count your blessings. Any university's greatest asset, including this one, is the credentials of its faculty. In lesson 1, you met Joe Coder, who has edited many textbooks in the fields of psychiatry and medicine and has a special talent for presenting complex and personal material, as you have seen. Her book, Advice from a Failure, has been a constant bestseller since its publication in 1965. That was lesson 1. In lesson 2, which we covered yesterday, it was Howard Whitman, war correspondent, syndicated columnist, television commentator, producer, and author of hundreds of articles dealing with family life and human relations. He has also been a recipient of 3 Freedoms Foundation Awards. Now, you're about to hear from a man whose name has been a household word in most of the civilized world for almost half a century. His book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, with sales long past the 10 million mark, was at first a textbook with that Dale Carnegie prepared to supplement the adult courses he was teaching at $5 a night in the beginning to YMCA classes. His subject, self-confidence, and how to develop it in order to deal with others. Everybody put in the console, self-confidence. However, there are far more to Dale Carnegie's philosophy than mere learning how to influence others for personal gain. His wisdom, his common sense, his ability to reduce success to its barest essentials rescued countless thousands from lives of failure and self-pity. Oh, Lord, Dale Carnegie. We're about to get up in this thing here tonight. Lesson 3, how to count your blessings. Feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition. Listen to Dale Carnegie from his bestseller, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. So this lesson is coming from the book by Dale Carnegie. Again, I'm just, in case you guys want to write them down, you might want to get them at some point in time. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Let's get it. I've known Howard Abbott for years. He used to be my lecture manager. One day he and I met in Kansas City, and he drove me down to my farm at Belton, Missouri. During the drive, I asked him how he kept from worrying, and he told me an inspiring story that I shall never forget. I used to worry a lot, he said. But one spring day in 1934, I was walking down West Doherty Street in Webb City when I saw a sight that banished all my worries. It all happened in 10 seconds. During those 10 seconds, I learned more about how to live than I had learned in the previous 10 years. For 2 years, I had been running a grocery store in Webb City, Howard Abbott said, as he told me the story. I had not only lost all my savings, but I had incurred debts that took me 7 years to pay back. My grocery store had been closed the previous Saturday, and now I was going to the Merchants and Miners Bank to borrow money so I could go to Kansas City to look for a job. I walked like a beaten man. I had lost all fight and faith. Then suddenly, I saw coming down the street a man who had no legs. He was sitting on a little wooden platform equipped with wheels from roller skates. He propelled himself along the street with a block of wood in each hand. I met him just after he had crossed the street and was starting to lift himself up a few inches over the curb to the sidewalk. As he tilted his little wooden platform to an angle, his eyes met mine. He greeted me with a grand smile. "Good morning, sir." "It is a fine morning, isn't it?" he said with the spirit. As I stood looking at him, I realized how rich I was. I had 2 legs. I could walk. I felt ashamed of my self-pity. I said to myself, if he can be happy and cheerful and confident without legs, I certainly can with legs. I could already feel my chest lifting. I certainly can. I had intended to ask the merchant in Miners Bay for only $100, but now I had the courage to ask for $200. I had intended to say that I wanted to go to Kansas City to try to get a job, but now I announced confidently that I wanted to go to Kansas City to go get a job. I got the loan. I got the job. I now have the following words pasted on my bathroom mirror, and I read them every morning as I shave. I had the blues because I had no shoes until upon the street I met a man who had no feet. I had the blues because I had no shoes until upon the street I met a man who had no feet. I once asked Eddie Rickenbacker what was the biggest lesson he had learned from drifting about with his companions in life rafts for 21 days, hopelessly lost in the Pacific. The biggest lesson I learned from that experience, he said, was that if you have all the fresh water you want to drink and all the food you want to eat, you ought never to complain about anything. Time ran an article about a sergeant who had been wounded on Guadalcanal. Hit in the throat by a shell fragment, this sergeant had had 7 blood transfusions. Writing a note to his doctor, he asked, "Will I live?" The doctor replied, "Yes." He wrote another note asking, "Will I be able to talk?" Again, the answer was yes. He then wrote another note saying, "Then what in the hell am I worrying about?" Why don't you stop right now and ask yourself, what in the hell am I worrying about? You will probably find that it is comparatively unimportant and insignificant. About 90% of the things in our lives are right, and about 10% are wrong. If you want to be happy, all we have to do is concentrate on the 90%. Everybody put in console, concentrate. If you want to be happy, all you have to do is concentrate on the 90% that are right and ignore the 10% that are wrong. If we want to be worried and bitter and have stomach ulcers, all we have to do is concentrate on the 10% that are wrong and ignore the 90% that are glorious. The words think and thank are inscribed in many of the Cromwellian churches of England. These words ought to be inscribed on our hearts too. Think and thank. Think of all we have to be grateful for and thank God for all our boons and bounties. Everybody put in console, think and thank. Jonathan Swift, another of Gulliver's Travels, was the most author of Gulliver's Travels, was the most devastating pessimist in English literature. He was so sorry that he had been born that he wore black and fasted on his birthdays. Yet, in his despair, this supreme pessimist of English literature praised the great health-giving powers of cheerfulness and happiness. The best doctors in the world, he declared, are Dr. Diet, Dr. Quiet, and Dr. Merriman. You and I have the services of Dr. Merriman free every hour of the day by keeping our attention fixed on all the incredible riches we possess. Riches exceeding by far the fabled treasures of Alibaba. Would you sell both your eyes for $1 billion? What would you take for your 2 legs, your hands, your hearing, your children, your family? Add up your assets. Everybody put in console, add up my assets. Add up your assets, and you will find that you won't sell what you have for all the gold ever amassed by the Rockefellers, the Fords, and the Morgans combined. But do we appreciate all of this? No. As Schopenhauer said, we seldom think of what we have, but always of what we lack. Yes, the tendency to seldom think of what we have, but always of what we lack is the greatest tragedy on earth. It has probably caused more misery than all the wars and diseases in history. It caused John Palmer to turn from a regular guy into an old grouch and almost wrecked his home. I know because he told me so. Shortly after I returned from the Army, he said, I started in business for myself. I worked hard day and night. Things were going nicely. Then trouble started. I couldn't get parts and materials. I was afraid I would have to give up my business. I worried so much that I changed from a regular guy into an old grouch. I became so sour and cross that Well, I didn't know it then, but I now realize that I came very near to losing my happy home. Then one day, a young disabled veteran who works for me said, "Johnny, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You take on as if you were the only person in the world with troubles. Suppose you do have to shut up shop for a while. So what? You can start up again when things get normal. You got a lot to be thankful for. Yet you are always growling. Boy, how I wish I were in your shoes. Look at me. I've got only one arm. Half of my face is shot away, and yet I'm not complaining. If you don't stop your growling and grumbling, you will lose not only your business, but also your health, your home, and your friends." Those remarks stopped me dead in my tracks. They made me realize how well off I was. I resolved then and there that I would change and be my old self again. And I did. A friend of mine, Lucille Blake, had to tremble on the edge of tragedy before she learned to be happy about what she had instead of worrying about over what she lacked. Be happy about what you have instead of worrying about what you lack. Be happy about what you have instead of worrying about what you lack. I met Lucille years ago when we were both studying short story writing in the Columbia University School of Journalism. 9 years ago, she got the shock of her life. She was living then in Tucson, Arizona. She had, well, here's the story as she told it to me. "I've been living in a world, studying the organ at the University of Arizona, conducting a speech clinic in town, and teaching a class in musical appreciation at a Desert Willow Ranch where I was staying. I was going in for parties, dances, horseback rides under the stars. One morning I collapsed. My heart. You will have to lie in bed for a year of complete rest," the doctor said. He didn't encourage me to believe I would ever be strong again. In bed for a year? To be an invalid, perhaps to die? I was terror-stricken. Why did all this happen? Why did all this have to happen to me? What had I done to deserve it? I wept and wailed. I was bitter and rebellious, but I did go to bed as the doctor advised. A neighbor of mine, Mr. Rudolph, an artist, said to me, "You think now that spending a year in bed will be a tragedy? But it won't be. You will have time to think and get acquainted with yourself. You will make more spiritual growth in these next few months than you have made during all your previous life." I became calmer and tried to develop a new sense of values. I read books of inspiration. One day I heard a radio commentator say, "You can express only what is in your own consciousness." Whoa. You can express only what's in your own consciousness. I had heard words like these many times before, but now they reached down inside me and took root. I resolved to think only the thoughts I wanted to live by. Think only the thoughts you want to live by. Think only the thoughts you want to live by. I resolved to think only the thoughts I wanted to live by. Thoughts of joy, thoughts of happiness, thoughts of health. I forced myself, everybody put the console, force myself. I forced myself each morning, as soon as I woke, to go over all the things I had to be grateful for. No pain, a lovely young daughter, my eyesight, my hearing, lovely music on the radio, time to read, good food, good friends. I was so cheerful and had so many visitors that the doctor put up a sign saying that only one visitor at a time would be allowed in my cabin, and only at certain hours. 9 years have passed since then, and now I lead a full, active life. I'm deeply grateful now that for a year I spent in bed. It was the most valuable and happiest year I spent in Arizona. The habit I formed then of counting my blessings each morning still remains with me. It is one of the most precious possessions. I am ashamed to realize that I never really learned to live until I feared I was going to die. Whoa. The habit I formed then of counting my blessings each morning still remains with me. It is one of my most precious possessions. I am ashamed to realize that I never really learned to live until I feared I was going to die. My dear Lucille Blake, you may not realize it, but you learned the same lesson that Dr. Samuel Johnson learned 200 years ago. The habit of looking on the best side of every event, said Dr. Johnson, is worth more than 1,000 pounds a year. The habit of looking at the best side of every event. The habit of looking at the best side of every event. Now, in 2021, we would call this an optimist. You see the best side of everything. The best side. Everybody put in comments on the best side. You see the best side of everything. Those words were uttered, and mind you, not by a professional optimist, but by a man who had known anxiety and rags and hunger for 20 years, and finally became one of the most eminent writers of his generation and the most celebrated conversationalist of all time. Logan Pearson Smith packed a lot of wisdom into a few words when he said, there are two things to aim at in life. First, get what you want. And after that, to enjoy it. Logan Pearson Smith packed a lot of wisdom in a few words when he said there are two things to aim at in life. The first thing, to get what you want. And then after that, to enjoy it. How many guys right now you realize you're saying to yourself, wait a second, these two things here. Am I getting what I want? Some of us are, some of us aren't. For those that are getting what you want, are you enjoying it? Now, here's an interesting thing that I found. Is typically, I haven't not found this to fallacy to prove this false just yet, but we typically get what we ask for. We typically get what we seek for. We typically get what we knock for. And here's the interesting thing. Some of those things that we ask for, some of those things that we look for, some of those things that we knock for, once we get them, we don't enjoy them. Now, some of that has to do with us realizing that what I really wanted wasn't good. What I really wanted wasn't good for me. That's a change of philosophy. Start getting what you want, and hopefully what you want is good for you. Because if it's good for you and you really want it and you get it, then hopefully you can enjoy it. How many guys in your life you realize there's some things that you wanted so bad that when you got it, you realize it wasn't good for you? It wasn't good for you. But you got what you wanted. Well, why don't we start getting things that are good for us? Why don't we use that same tactic, the same strategy to start getting the things that are good for us? That way you can enjoy it. Get what you want and enjoy it. Only the wisest of mankind achieve the second. Would you like to know how to make even dishwashing at the kitchen sink a thrilling experience? If so, read an inspiring book of incredible courage by Borgil Dahl. It was called I Wanted to See. This book was written by a woman who was practically blind for half a century. I had only one eye, she writes, and it was so covered with dense scars that I had to do all my seeing through one small opening in the left of the eye. I could see a book only by holding it up close to my face and by straining my one eye as hard as I could to the left. But she refused to be pitied, refused to be considered different. As a child, she wanted to play hopscotch with other children, but she couldn't see the markings. So after the other children had gone home, she got down on the ground and crawled along with her eye near to the marks. She memorized every bit of the ground where she and her friends played and soon became an expert at running games. She did her reading at home, holding a book of large print so close to her eye that her eyelash brushed the pages. She earned 2 college degrees, a business of administration from the University of Minnesota and a master's from Columbia University. She started teaching in a tiny village of Twin Valley, Minnesota, and rose until she became professor of journalism and literature at Augustana College in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. She taught there for 13 years, lecturing before women's clubs and giving radio talks about books and authors. In the back of my mind, she writes, there had always lurked a fear of total blindness. In order to overcome this, I had adopted a cheerful, almost hilarious attitude towards life. Then in 1943, when she was 52 years old, a miracle happened. An operation at the famous Mayo Clinic. She could now see 40 times as well as she had ever been able to see before. A new and exciting world of loveliness opened before her. She now found it thrilling even to wash dishes in the kitchen sink. I began to play with the white fluffy suds in the dishpan, she writes. I dip my hands into them and I pick up a ball of tiny soap bubbles. I hold them up against the light, and in each of them I can see the brilliant colors of a miniature rainbow. As she looked through the window above the kitchen sink, she saw the flapping gray-black wings of a sparrow flying through the thick and falling snow. She found such ecstasy looking at the soap bubbles and sparrows that she closed her book with these words, Dear Lord, I whisper, our Father in heaven, I thank thee. I thank thee. Imagine thanking God because you can wash dishes and see rainbows and bubbles and sparrows flying through the snow. Everybody put in console, imagine. Imagine thanking God because you can wash dishes and see rainbows and bubbles and sparrows flying through the snow. You and I ought to be ashamed of ourselves. All the days of our years have been living in a fairyland of beauty, but we have been too blind to see, too satiated to enjoy. If you want to stop worrying, start living. Count your blessings, not your troubles. Let's read this again. Imagine thanking God because you can wash the dishes and see rainbows and bubbles and sparrows flying through the snow. You and I ought to be ashamed of ourselves. All the days of our years have been living in a fairyland of beauty, but we have been too blind to see and too satiated to enjoy. If you want to stop worrying, start living. Count your blessings, not your troubles. Count your blessings, not your troubles. Well, beautiful people, I got two things I'm really grabbing from this tonight. Feeling sorry for yourself and your present conditions is not only a waste of energy, but the worst habit you could possibly have. If you want to start living, if you want to stop worrying, start living. Everybody put in console, start living. If you want to stop worrying, start living. Count your blessings and not your troubles. In the comments below, I'd love for you to share three things that you want to count right now. 3 blessings that you want to count right now. Go ahead and capture that in the comments below. We're going to practice right now. We're going to practice just counting our blessings and not our troubles. You know, each and every day I have an opportunity. I got an opportunity to make a choice. And each and every day I keep choosing to count my blessings. Man, I'm blessed. Oh my goodness, I'm connected to such wonderful people. Oh my goodness, this thing that we created called the BLACKBERRY Club. Look at these people. Man, I'm blessed. We get to go and make money and just laugh all day and have fun. I mean, every day we having fun. We find stuff to crack up about. Man, I'm blessed to wake up this morning and go and do what I've been called to do. To have the opportunity to go out and change the world and make the world a better place. I'm blessed. Three things that you want to count right now. Your blessings, not your troubles. You'll find, as he said, 90% of the things in your life are right. 90% of the things in your life are going well. But if you choose to focus on the 10%, you'll find yourself in misery. Because you're majoring in minor things instead of majoring in major things. The major is the 90%. The minor is the 10. The major is the 90% of the things that are going well, the things that are going right, the things that are working for you. The minor is the 10% that isn't. You ought to suggest, Pay attention to the 90 and just simply ignore the 10. Count your blessings, not your troubles. How many guys, to be honest, say, you know what? I've had trouble with this in my life. I've been good at counting my troubles. I've been good at telling people what's not going well, what's going wrong, what's not working for me. I've been good at that. I've been good at sharing the bad news. I haven't done so well with sharing the good news. Well, I want you to take a moment to share the good news. I've been able to share what hasn't worked for me. I've been able to share what doesn't go well today. I've been able to share my pain. But I haven't done a good job of sharing my praise. Count my blessings, not my troubles. That's what you guys saying, man. Stop worrying and start living. That's right, man. Imagine. Count your blessings, not your troubles. Count your blessings, not your troubles. Stop worrying and start living. Stop worrying and start living. Start living. Stop worrying and start living. Miss Betty said, man, life, health, and family. Stop worrying. Miss Teresa said, man, breath, heartbeat, children. I am blessed. Absolutely. Her health, wealth, children, grandchildren, knowledge. Yes, absolutely. Count your blessings. That's right. Life, good health, family, and friends. Absolutely. Man, I'm grateful for breath. I'm grateful for my right mind. I'm grateful to be here. This Vivian Reed, man. Glitter say with family, BBC, self-improvement, lessons, good health. Count your blessings, not your troubles. Count your blessings and not your troubles. In the comments below, I'd love for you to share a takeaway that you have tonight from the New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark. The author tells us, he says, this is a great time for you to stimulate your subconscious. Now, I don't know about you, but I found over the past 3 nights that is exactly what has happened. And so this night edition, which may make it available to a few more people that couldn't get on in the morning, maybe this has been helping you out. Maybe these lessons of success have done wonders for you. Count your blessings, not your troubles. I'd like for you to share a seed of thought that has been impressed upon you here tonight. I'm simply asking you to answer this question in the comments below. Was this worth your time? And why? We don't just do this just to do this, beautiful people. We do this to make a difference. And hopefully we made a difference in your life here tonight. Go ahead in the comments below. Let us know what impact have we made in your life here tonight. Now, while you do that, I know I talk much faster than you type. Again, we want you to check out the Black Billionaires Club, BBC TV. Check us out there. This is where this week we've been broadcasting everywhere, but moving forward, that's where you'll catch this broadcast. We have 50 lessons to go through. This is just lesson 3. It'll probably take us about 12 weeks. 12 times 5 is 60, about 12 weeks to go through them all. So hopefully you'll journey along with us through the whole university, all semesters, right? Hopefully you'll journey with us there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link in the comments below for you to be able to go and find BBC TV and go ahead and hit that like button so you will be exposed to our program that we have there. What we're doing is we are building out a network, right, where we become our own media. Right. But here's the deal. For us to press forward and push forward, we're going to see how many people actually are going to support what we're doing. And then we'll take it to another level. Right. This is how you do the little test. You say, well, we talk a good game as people. We say we want this stuff. We tired of the violence. We tired of the drama. We tired of all that stuff. Although that seems to be what we talk about a lot. But when something good, wholesome, quality comes and is available, will we show up? Well, we're going to find out over the next couple of weeks. Will we show up? Will we support? Will we like? Will we be there to watch the episodes that we put out on BBC TV? Now, I want to shout out my sponsors who helped make this thing a reality. The New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark. These are brothers and sisters who have said, you know what, this is important, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is. The Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, specialized in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and Black art-inspired gifts. Check them out at theblackbazaar.com. theblackbazaar.com. Of course, I sponsor my own stuff because I believe in what I'm doing. BlackBERRY Charisma, Black woman-owned business, says, you know what? We're going to put our money where our mouth is. We believe in what this brother's trying to do to share literature with the masses in order for them to share it out to the community. BlackBERRY Charisma specializes in custom crafts to be able to help you with your branding and marketing so that you stay top of mind and you represent your brand wherever you go. You can check her out there. She also has a dope lineup of lingerie. Check her out at www.blackberrycharisma.com, www.blackberrycharisma.com. Another Black woman-owned business who puts her money where her mouth is, says, you know what, this is quality stuff, and we want to get behind quality. We want to see Reading Rainbow 2.0 come to life. Well, 5-Factor Consulting, they're going to be able to help you to fix your and repair your credit, increase your cash flow, start going on the journey towards your pot of gold. Well, you can check her out and get the help that you may need at 5factorconsulting.com. That's www.5factorconsulting.com. And then our last sponsor for tonight, Big Sis Media Group. This sister here puts her money where her mouth is. Said, you know what? This Reading Rainbow 2.0 thing is take a look. It's in a book like University of Success. We need to be reading this literature. Damn some To Kill a Mockingbird. Let's bring some of the stuff that's going to help us level up. Well, Big Sis Media is going to be able to help you level up with your digital presence, help you bring your website current, help you with your digital flyers and your commercials and everything that we're doing now virtually. Well, she can help your stuff be dope. Well, check her out by simply going to the website www.bigsismediagroup.com, www.bigsismediagroup.com. Shout out and thank you to all the sponsors who helped make this dream become a reality with the New Black Wall Street Book Club. And then, obviously, as I said, the After Dark edition. As we're getting this thing, we're learning how to count our blessings here tonight. Let me catch up on these comments, man. Again, what was your take? What was your takeaway for tonight? Was this worth your time, and why? Let's catch up on what you guys are saying. Thanks so much for the tagging, Miss of the people, Miss Peterson or Petersonville. Thank you so much. Vivian Reed said, "Man, feeling sorry for yourself is a waste of time and can lead to trouble." All right, man. She also said, "I'm grateful that you spend your time helping to build us up. Worth our time, absolutely." Glenda Tate Williams said, "Be thankful for what you have because there's always someone in worse shape, is blind, deaf, or missing limbs. Stop worrying and start living." Man, Miss Teresa Gilliard said, "You know what? That 90-10 rule is a blessing, right? I'm going to focus on the 90. I'm going to keep my mind on the things that are going well. I'm going to force myself to count my blessings." This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark edition. 30 minutes a night to keep your everlasting mind right. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we really need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
It's the New Black Wall Street Book Club. With your host, Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now, you ain't got to leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Yeah. The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street Book Club.